What's up guys, back to another Konosuba video, and in today's video we are going to talk about should you still save for the Overlord collab. So two things really quickly. I'll have a link to the tier list in the description. I believe Koala updated it rather recently because I know that the Fury characters are in it. If you guys want to take a look at it, feel free, it's in the description. Another thing is yeah, I guess kind of take this video with a grain of salt. Obviously, I guess it's up to you guys if you do want to summon or not. This is just my opinion. I'm trying to find a better word to describe it, but I guess that's pretty much just basically it, really. If you like Overlord, of course, summon for what you summon for. If you don't like Overlord, don't feel like you need these units. The only issue is they don't come back, which is unfortunate. But regardless of that, I'm going to tell you if you should or should not summon. Before I get into the video though, do like, subscribe, helps me out a bunch. I'm almost at 1K, and then big videos are coming after that, But anyway, let's hop in. So first unit to look at is Ains, and then Shalltear. So actually we're going to get the middle one out. Albedo is the free unit. She's not too terribly good, unfortunately. There's also a Kazuma, who is probably the best out of the Konosuba characters wearing the collab character outfit. He's a pretty decent dark physical attacker, but he's not too insane. And then there's a Megumi, who is pretty much just a overall not as good version as ReZero Megumi. And then we have a Overlord Darkness, who is okay, but she's not, it's just Darkness, She doesn't do what Legendary Darkness can for just spamming ults. And Ains is also there. The issue with Cosmo as well is they're both physical dark units, and the best dark unit in the game is now Ains. So kind of rough for them. So Ains is going to be the character who lasts the longest out of this collab. He is insanely good. He has a self-heal on his basic. He has a 20% ultimate gauge charge. He does more damage if the enemy is debuffed. Let me go ahead and shoot down to ult real quick on this one. His ult is pretty cool. The animation for it, because I've used it on the JP version, actually pretty cool looking, I will say. It should be right here. So it's a self tier 3 magic attack buff and a tier 3 magic defense debuff on the enemy. That way you can get his debuff off. You pretty much have to run him with someone who debuffs, because you're not going to be really getting this unless you ult first. So that is a thing, but there's so many units who debuff, that's just, you're pretty much given this regardless. Then Albedo, not good, so it doesn't matter, and she's free, so why would you watch a should you summon video for a free unit? Question mark. Name of Shalltear. Shalltear is really good. She has a small self-heal on her basic. She has a tier 2 physical defense debuff. She has a 20% ultimate gauge charge. She does more damage if she has more HP. Her ultimate transforms her, which is kind of like a new ult that Global doesn't have. She gets a self tier 3 physical attack buff and a tier 3 physical defense debuff, and transforms. And I think she gets a speed buff as well, if I'm not mistaken. And you can stack it with other speed buffs. So that's pretty cool. You can see her transformation right there. Armored form, very cool. Then she goes crazy. Shalltear isn't going to last as long as Ains is the issue. I'll go over what characters replace them right now. But with the 1.5 anniversary, like Fast Banner with Wiz and Megumi, probably going to have Veneer. It was less likely because everyone assumed that Veneer was going to be taken off the banner so they could fit him in for Christmas and all that. But now that we have the announcement that we're not doing that, it's more likely that they're just going to throw him with Wiz and Megumi. And I know it's 1.5, but we could really get that anytime. Right. And with that said, for that it's Wiz, and then the characters who replace the Overlord characters. So the first one to start that off with will be the 2-year Annie characters, which are, scroll down a little bit more, Legendary Union and Legendary Iris. Now, Shalltear is a physical attacker, but Iris still is better than her, fortunately. They just legendary characters just do so much. Shalltear has an elementalist basic. Iris doesn't. Yin, where is she? This one. Insanely good. Cooldown cut. Tier 2 resist shred. Basic does more damage if they're debuff. Yin ult, right? Iris ult's really good. They have all these self buffs and a self 30% ultimate gauge charge. They're just, a step above in characters, and it's just not Shalltear's fault that she came up before that power creep, so it is what it is. So if we get 1.5 before Overlord or even after Overlord, it'll pretty much just be either half a year, right? Or it's whenever they drop 2 festivals, which would be Chris and then these characters, and then Shalltear will kind of not be the best unit for light anymore. With Ains, he lasts a bit longer. He will be the one after that. I believe Aru and Cecily came out after them. Let me grab Aru. Cecily doesn't really matter because she's not dark. I passed Aru, didn't I? Down here. Yeah, Aru is insane. She is S on JP still. She has tier 2 resist shred debuff for dark, a self tier 2 dark damage buff, which is a new type of buff on the JP version. Not too sure how cracked it is, but you can imagine having a dark damage buff, resist shred, and magic up and magic down on the enemy. Gonna hit pretty hard. Apparently Aru is just insanely good, and Ains unfortunately just can't keep up with that kind of damage. Plus, yeah, like 131 to 105, 177 versus 194, and then 235 to 181. I mean, these are all single targets, so I guess he has the AoE stuff covered, but it is what it is. So basically, I feel like these units are roughly going to have about either, like I said, half a year, or if they're rushing the legendary characters, it's going to be however long it takes for them to shove out Chris. And then after that, Shalltear will see her prime with Iris and Union coming out, and then after that is Ains. So I feel like you should still save and summon on Overlord. They'll last a good amount of time, even though Iris and Union will play Shalltear. Still a very, very good unit, especially if you're going for Ains, because he'll last a bit longer, and he's also still really good. Just because these characters are replaced doesn't mean you can't run them with said characters if you don't have the other replacements, and I'm sure you can still make them work. It's going to be a bit harder, but you can still make them work for what you need them for. So I still feel like this is a good banner to save for. Obviously, we're going to have to see what comes first, because they could just say, like, screw it, Legendary Chris drops before them, and then it gets a little bit iffy, but it's always smart to grab the characters that are not coming back, club characters, because, personally, I have a collector's itch, I guess you would call it, of I just want to have at least one copy of said characters if they can come back. Of course, if you don't feel that way, it's up to you if you want to summon on it, but I still think Ains and Shalltear, especially Ains, is still worthy to summon on. But anyway, I'm going to end the video there. Let me know in the comments below if you're still going to summon, if you're still saving, if you're going to summon on banners before this one comes out, because, they got pushed back in a sense. So let me know what you're going to do in the comments, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.